So now we are going to create our first HTML file. So HTML file is the one that gives the base content to the browser of what needs to be displayed on the screen. All right. So in order to write this, I am going to use VS Code, because VS Code is where you can kind of write all your files, right? All kinds of code files, and these can be executed from there, or in fact, HTML files can also be written on basic notepad. All you need to do is save it as .html, right? But for this instance, I am going to use VS Code, right? So, I have a folder called tutorial, and I am going to create a new file, right? In this, and I am going to call it first HTML, right? And I am going to name it with the extension .html, right? I'm going to expand it, and I'll close this sidebar so you guys can see, right? So what I've understood is you kind of start with something called a doc type, which tells the user, which tells the browser what kind of file it is. So as you can see, doc type already comes. So I'm going to say doc type HTML, right? So doc type HTML is telling the browser that this is a file that is going to be just HTML code, right? And then we write something called HTML. Now, as you can see, there are these characters that I am using. These are called tags. Now what tags do is basically they wrap around certain elements and other tags, and they tell the browser how to read this page. So anything between these HTML tags, so this is called a starting tag, and this is called an ending tag, right? So these are the ones that are going to enclose all our code, and the browser will understand that yes, this is the piece of information that I need to read, right? Then there is something called comments. So comments are things that the browser doesn't read or show, right? But these help us to understand or other users to understand your code. For example, if I write here within you know uh, a start an opening tag, and then exclamation mark, and then two hyphens, then end it with two hyphens and a closing tag, closing marker, then this is read as a comment. This is a comment, right? This will not be read by the browser or shown on screen, right? So yeah, this is how you write comments, and these can be on multiple lines, not a problem. You can make multiple lines, and this will still see it as a comment, as long as they start and end like this, right? I'm going to revert back to one line. Next thing that we need to know is something called a head tag. Now this also has an opening tag and a closing tag. Now what the head tag basically means, I'm going to write a comment here. Any information between these head tags are going to be information regarding the web page itself to the browser, right? So any information that you enclose between the head tags, this is going to be information for the browser about on what the web page is about. So for instance, let us give it a title, right? So now title is also a new tag, right? We are saying the title of our web page is going to be my first HTML file, right? So now when you open the web page, let's say when you open Google, at the top of the browser you see a title that says Google, right? So when we open our page, the first thing that we'll see is my first HTML file on the top of the browser in the new tab section, right? Uh, let's say we want to give a description to it. Now we will use something called a meta tag, and we'll call it meta name description, right? Now I'm not sure how to use this meta tag, and you might be wondering how I'm getting this information. So there is something called the MDN docs. Now you can go here and you can get information about all kinds of HTML tags. So you see that there is a structure to it on how HTML code is written. I don't know how to write meta tags, so I'll go here and there will be some example here. So yeah, there is a meta name description, and then you kind of close it like this. So I am going to say meta name description, and then there is a content equals this is my first HTML page and I am going to publish it, right? Instead of publish, I'll just say save it, right? And I'll use this marker here. So you will see that there is no slash meta tag here. This is a opening tag and closing tag in itself. So it closes on itself and ends here, right? So now our head is complete. Now we are saying that the browser understands that this is my first HTML file. The title of the page should be my first HTML file, and the description of this page is this is my first HTML page and I'm going to save it, right? Now what is next, right? We are going to write a something called a body tag, right? Now again, body has again body and slash body. There is an opening text and a closing tag, right? Now anything I write in the body itself will be shown in the page, right? So for instance, I say my first HTML page by dumb learning, right? And you will see if I press enter as well and say uh, this is my first time writing HTML, right? And I am expecting that this will be shown in the browser, right? So if I say if I save this file, Control S, and I take the path of it, copy path, and I go to my browser and I paste it. So you'll see it shows on the website my first HTML page by dumb learning. This is my first time writing HTML, right? So now yeah, there is one key difference. You'll see that even if we added a new line in the code itself, it shows up in the same line. That's because HTML doesn't read new lines that way. How does it read them? We'll see in the coming videos. But yeah, that's it. We have created our first HTML file, and in next videos we are going to learn more about these tags, which of them open and close, how to write bold text, headings, and all of that. So yeah, looking forward to the next video.